Thanks to AI, elephants now share the road with our president. Here's how it was done.
What do you think about this one? You believe say AI fits do this kind thing?
I can't believe this happened in my lifetime. AI, I beg.
It's breathtaking, isn't it? The sight of elephants, real, majestic African elephants, roaming peacefully through the streets of Abuja. Yes, you heard that right. Not in a zoo, not in a game reserve, but in the actual city streets. Imagine them walking gently down streets of Abuja, or pausing at the Unity Fountain. Their enormous forms moving with quiet grace while bystanders look on in stunned wonder. Of course, this isn't real in the physical sense. This magical vision was created entirely with artificial intelligence. What you're watching was generated using a powerful tool called VEO3. And the best part? I made it for free. Google now allows you to sign up and use VEO for free for 1 month, which gives you more than enough time to create impressive, long-form videos like this. In this video, I'm going to show you exactly how to create viral long-form AI videos like this, using VEO3 and Google Flow. We'll walk through every step, from generating the first scene to extending it into a full cinematic story, all without spending a dime. So if you've ever wondered how to use AI to craft videos that blur the line between reality and imagination, stick around. This tutorial will guide you through the process of building your own stunning, scroll-stopping AI videos, the kind that go viral. Let's get to work. We begin on the Google Flow platform, which has quickly become one of my favorite tools for text-to-video generation. For this project, I'm using a mix of text-to-video and frame-to-video, two methods that allow you to create scenes from both written prompts and visual continuity. But like every story, we start with the first line. So I selected text-to-video as my starting point. Once inside, I clicked on Flow to begin a new project. That opens a clean workspace where you can start crafting your video. Now, something important to note. Google Flow usually gives you about 400 credits when your billing cycle renews. If you're new to it, these credits are what allow you to generate scenes. For this tutorial, I had just enough left to work with. Once the new project opens, I selected text-to-video and began by pasting a script I had written. The prompt was simple and imaginative. I kept the prompt straightforward, no overcomplications. Simplicity is powerful when dealing with AI. Once the script was in, I clicked on Settings and made sure to select VEO3. This version includes both audio generation and higher quality visuals. Yes, there's a newer variant with faster generation speeds, but I prefer the richer quality of the standard VEO3, especially when you're aiming to craft a cinematic experience. To save my credits, I'll use the cheaper option. With that set, I hit Generate. Now, here's where patience comes in. The generation process costs around 20 credits and takes a few minutes. While that was running, I moved over to another AI tool I like, Gemini. Gemini is another excellent tool for VEO3 video generation. What I appreciate about Gemini is its tendency to produce multiple variations of the same prompt. That gives you creative flexibility. Sometimes it'll interpret your scene a little differently, maybe with a brighter mood, different angles, or alternative motion. So I pasted the same prompt in Gemini and let that render as well. Again, this process took about 3 to 5 minutes. Once both versions were ready, it was time for a comparison. Let's watch the Gemini version first, then the Flow version.
Thanks to AI, elephants now share the road with our president. Here's how it was done. Thanks to AI, elephants now share the road with our president. Here's how it was done.
Each had its strengths, but I found Flow's version more consistent with my vision. And that brings us to the real power of Google Flow: scene continuation. Now that we had our first scene, the elephants arriving in the city, I wanted to extend the narrative. I imagined what would happen next. Would the elephants approach Aso Rock? Would school children follow them in awe? Would the whole city pause to welcome them? To continue, I clicked Add to Scene, then scrolled down to the timeline. The key here is to drag the playhead all the way to the final frame of the first video. Once there, click the plus icon. That saves a screenshot of the final frame, basically a reference image for what comes next. This frame now appears in your assets. Click on it, and it becomes your starting point for the next clip. That's how you create continuity. The elephants don't suddenly teleport, they walk forward from one scene to the next. At this point, I crafted a second prompt, still based on the original but with a few creative tweaks. I kept the prompt grounded, realistic enough to blend with the first scene but still magical in tone. Remember, when you overcomplicate prompts, you risk confusing the AI. Once the prompt was ready, I generated the second clip. Again, it took a few minutes. When both scenes were ready, I moved the playhead back to the beginning and hit play. What followed was beautiful. Elephants emerging from the first scene and continuing their gentle journey through Abuja's landmarks. Yes, there was a slight stutter in the transition, but that's fixable. I simply trimmed the end of the first clip using the drag tool and cleaned it up. Now we had a smooth, flowing video that carried the story forward. With 2 scenes complete, I repeated the same process for a third. Maybe this time, the elephants cross the bridge to Millennium Park, or pause under the glowing lights of the Central Business District. Ha ha ha. Don't mind me, please. But here's a heads up. Sometimes VEO 3 fails to generate audio. It's frustrating, but it happens. You'll lose credits and need to regenerate. Also, keep an eye on the version number. Occasionally, it flips back to VEO 2 without notice. Always check before clicking Generate. When the final scene is complete, just click Download. It takes a moment, depending on your connection. In one of my scenes, I didn't get audio at all, just silent visuals. That's okay though. You can always add sound later in post-production. If you found this tutorial helpful and you'd like to see more surreal, magical, AI-powered content like this, please consider subscribing to my channel. It means a lot and keeps me motivated to create more.